This is the ENGWE M20 Electric Bike, and just looking at it, you can tell it's not your average e-bike. The first thing that stands out is the bold, motorcycle-inspired frame. Riding it around, people definitely turn their heads. It almost looks like a mini Triumph motorcycle rolling by, with a chunky, tough vibe that just makes you want to jump on and go for a ride. I've owned and tried a couple of electric bikes before, but honestly, nothing else I've ridden feels quite like this one. When I first got my hands on the ENGWE M20, the first thing I noticed was how solid it feels. The frame's made of aluminum, and the fat 4-inch tires just give it this confidence that tells you it can handle pretty much any road or trail you throw at it. Putting it together is straightforward since it comes about 90% pre-assembled. I'm not a bike mechanic, but the toolkit and instructions made it easy enough for someone like me who's just getting into e-bikes. If you aren't super handy, set aside a little time and you'll be cruising pretty soon. From my experience, learning to actually use the ENGWE M20 is simple. To turn it on, you hit the battery's power switch under the frame. Then, up at the handlebars, press the button on top of the LCD display and the screen wakes up. It shows you exactly how much battery you've got left, your speed, trip distance, and what pedal assist mode you're using. The bike gives you 5 levels of pedal assist. What that means is the higher the number, the more extra push the motor gives you when you pedal. If you're new to e-bikes, pedal assist is basically a feature that lets the motor help you out, so you don't have to work as hard or can ride farther without getting tired. On my first real ride, I took it about 10 miles from home to campus. What surprised me is how smooth it feels, even over rougher city roads and bumps. That's all thanks to the dual suspension, basically shock absorbers in the front and the back that make the ride less bouncy and jarring. The fat tires help a ton too. They let you ride over dirt, gravel, grass, or pavement without slipping or feeling shaky. I even tried it on a gravel path, honestly just to see what would happen. I was expecting it to get squirrely, but it held its line thanks to those tires and the good suspension. The ride wasn't bouncy or uncomfortable at all. One thing I really love about this bike is the power. The M20's got a 750-watt motor, but it peaks out at 1,000 watts, so when you need power to get up a hill, it's there. It handles some pretty steep slopes without slowing down too much. On flat roads, I was easily hitting 28 miles per hour, which feels really fast on a bike this size. There's also a throttle, which means if you don't feel like pedaling, you can just twist it like a motorcycle and the bike goes. This is perfect for days when you're tired or if you're just in a rush. Battery life is always something I worry about with electric bikes, but the ENGWE M20 has 2 big batteries, both 48 volts and together offering up to 94 miles of range. In real-life riding, if you use the power smartly and mix pedal assist with throttle, you definitely get way more distance than most electric bikes. For someone like me who likes doing longer rides on weekends, knowing I don't have to worry about getting stranded with a dead battery is a big deal. Charging does take some time though, about 5 to 7 hours per battery, so if you need a quick turnaround, that's something to keep in mind. For everyday use, I really appreciate the comfort. The seat is wide and cushy, and the handlebars are adjustable, so you can set them to match your height. That makes a long ride a lot more enjoyable. The handlebar position does lean you slightly forward, which reminds me more of riding a motorbike than a standard bicycle, so it might take a little getting used to if you're switching over from a regular upright bike. For the gears, the bike uses a Shimano 7-speed shifter. If you're not familiar, that's a well-known brand for bike gears, and the 7 speeds let you pedal normally, with or without using the motor a ton, or gear down if you need to climb. When talking about safety, some key features really stand out for me on the ENGWE M20. It's got hydraulic disc brakes, which on a heavy and fast e-bike like this is super important. If you've ever tried stopping a fast bike with weak brakes, you'll understand why having solid stopping power feels reassuring. The bike also comes with super bright LED headlights, tail lights, and even turn signals, which is something you don't see on many e-bikes at this price. For me, those lights and signals are huge for riding at dusk or in traffic. There's even a loud horn, which I didn't expect, but it's great for letting people know you're coming, especially in busy areas. Weight-wise, this bike is hefty, almost 100 pounds with both batteries installed. That's a bit of a double-edged sword. On one hand, that solid build makes for a super stable ride, and you don't get bounced around like a feather. But if you have to carry this upstairs or lift it into a car, you're definitely going to feel the weight. I'd recommend thinking about where you'll be storing or transporting it before buying, just to make sure you're okay with the size and bulk. If you're new to electric bikes, the LCD display might look a little complicated at first, but after riding for a couple of days, I found it pretty easy to use. Battery life, speed, total distance, and pedal assist level are all clear. There's a trip calculator too, so you can keep track of each outing. There are 3 riding modes you can choose. Eco Cruiser if you want to save battery, Urban Warrior which gives you a bit more zip for city riding, and Turbo Performance for full speed and max fun. I personally switch it around depending on if I'm riding to work or just cruising on the weekend. On the cosmetic side, the bike just looks awesome. Everywhere I took it, people stopped to ask questions. The black paint job with the chunky tires and the unique frame shape really makes it stand out. From my experience, it's one of those bikes that gets noticed. So if you want something with a bit of style, I don't think you'll be disappointed. I did have some worries at the beginning, especially reading online about bikes arriving with scratches or small issues. My bike did show up in pretty good shape, packed well. So far, nothing's rattled loose and everything feels sturdy. The 1-year warranty on parts like the motor and battery helps with peace of mind, since you never really know how hard you'll push an e-bike when you first get it. For regular maintenance, I'd recommend keeping the bike clean, checking the tire pressure, and making sure the brakes are sharp, same as you would on any bicycle. For anyone wondering, is this bike for me? I'd recommend this for adults who want a powerful, cool-looking e-bike for getting around town, commuting, or taking weekend adventure rides on mixed terrains. It's perfect for people who don't mind a heavier bike and want something with a little more power than your typical city e-bike. If you're living upstairs with no elevator, or you need to carry your bike around a lot, it's something you'll need to think about. But for most everyday riding, the extra weight isn't an issue on the road. In conclusion, the ENGWE M20 is just fun to ride, comfortable even on bumpy roads, and absolutely packs the power and battery life to go further than most electrics I've tried. It's got solid safety features, a unique look, and the performance to back it up. I didn't expect to enjoy it this much, but now it's honestly my favorite way to get around. I hope this quick review helps you if you're thinking about picking up this bike or getting started with e-bikes. I will post full information about the ENGWE M20 electric bike in the comments section. See you in the following videos.